Is there one mission that really stands out in your mind, Staz?
Yeah, my first job, the biggest improvised explosive device that was ever recorded in the capital. It was going to be a multi-staged attack across friendly forces camps. The implications strategic were so high, everybody was watching this job.
Have you ever been close to dying anywhere?
Oh mate, I mean, for me personally, I was flown up in a wagon. I've had parachute failures and...
Hold on a minute. You had parachute failures?
Yeah, Afghanistan was so busy because we're sneaking through the kind of hornet's nest, if you will, hunting high-value targets, doing some incredible missions. Where we are right now in this world, what we're doing, what we're striving towards valiantly through hardship and endeavour and all this kind of stuff. Don't take the easy options ever. Don't look for a easy shortcut. That's not the way that we do things. Just remember that the hard road will take you home.
Staz, welcome back to the show, mate.
Dodge, thank you for having me again.
Again, part two, mate. There's been lots of people been asking for this for the last couple of years, and we finally got around to doing it, mate.
Yeah, I mean, what is it? Almost two years?
Yeah.
2 years ago, almost to the day, yeah.
And it's got like 500,000, 500,000 views on YouTube, your episode.
That's crazy.
It is crazy. It is crazy. But people want more. People want more of the stories. And obviously we'll talk about ThruDark, which we're now partners.
Yep.
Which is a lovely thing to work partnership with you guys and our podcast.
Mate, that's brilliant, and thank you as well to you guys here as well for supporting. You've been, obviously we're local, we know each other. It's such a natural kind of collaboration and partnership for us anyway. But
totally
thank you,
agree. Mate. Nice one, mate. So let's roll all the way back. We're not going to go to where you were growing up and stuff because we've done all that. Let's go back to when you joined the Royal Marines. What year was that? And then I'd like to work through or sort of going into the Special Forces and doing your 10 years in the Special Forces, and then we'll move on to the last 5 years in business and life and books and everything, TV series and all that. So let's go back to the Royal Marines. How old are you when you joined the Royal Marines?
Yeah, okay, so I joined the Royal Marines in 2005. I was about 21, 22 years old. I'm shit at maths. And I guess at that time in my life, just finishing college, I was working a job. I was a personal trainer, gym instructing, local sort of council-run gym, and was just sort of feeling like there was more to fucking life, more to be had. And I started looking into the military and options there, and obviously wanted to do the hardest thing I can find. So for me, it was the Marines or the Parrots. Both had amazing reputations. And the guy, when I went into the Armed Forces Careers Office, was a Royal Marine, so kind of steered me down that path. And also at the time, Second Gulf War was kicking off, so things in Iraq were really sort of heating up. So yeah, I think for me, that sort of calling, it was something that was interesting to me and something that offered me an outlet external of where I currently was geographically in terms of location. I just wanted to get out, see the world and try something different, but also push myself as well. So the Marines was that. I signed up for the course. In fact, before that, you do a potential Royal Marines course. It's sort of a week. You go down to Lympstone, the Commando Training Centre, and you spend a week down there getting beasted, sort of give you a bit of a flavour as to kind of what the training will be like, what the instructors are like, and all that kind of stuff. So did that, passed it, quite enjoyed it. And then after that, did all the fitness tests, passed all that stuff. And then before I knew it, mate, I was kind of bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, clean-shaven, turning up on there's a train that sort of runs into the station. It's got its own station at the Commando Training Centre at Lympstone. It's right on the bottom field. The bottom field's where they thrash all the people doing all the assault course bits and pieces. And I remember stepping off at that station, and you're only getting off at that station if you're going into the Commando Training Centre, and with sort of similarly looking people, again, all clean-shaved, generally young, fit guys, and we step off, sort of oversized suit on, just massively out of your comfort zone, just sort of not really understanding what you're about to embark on. And yeah, it's a 32-week, I say basic infantry course. It's the longest infantry course in the British military. And then off I went for fucking 32 weeks there into the Royal Marines kind of system. And for me personally, it was looking back now, it was really formative. It really sort of shaped me as a person and my character and my characteristics, my kind of core beliefs and everything else. It sort of set me up for huge success moving forward. And I can sort of say that now looking back. You know, at the time, things are sometimes shit, aren't they? And you kind of got to go through that process and understand a little bit about yourself and understand why you're doing things. And at the time, it doesn't sort of, it doesn't always make sense. But for me, I just fucking enjoyed it. I enjoyed, like I say, I love the self-flagellation, but I love pushing myself physically and mentally. And I felt like I was in a place where I belonged, if that makes sense.
That's nice to hear, man. And how long were you in the Marines for?
So total time in the Marines was about 3 years. So after that 32 weeks training, you know, I was an original, so I kind of went from day one, week one, all the way through 32 weeks, thankfully without getting injured, probably more luck than anything. And I was also awarded like the King's Badgeman, so I was like the top recruit. I was the fittest guy in the troop, so I was kind of thinking, "Fucking hell, this is me. This is wicked."
Yeah.
You know. I think there's a lot to be said in terms of my background. Obviously, we've playing football before, and generally the lads that do quite well are guys that have just not made it in professional sport. There's a lot of like ex-rugby guys and football and gym instructor, all that kind of stuff.
I've got the mentality to really push.
Yeah, but also probably have something else going on as well, where you're kind of a bit of a stray, you don't really fit in, you know, you're just going to get in trouble if you sort of stay in your normal environment in your town or your village or wherever you're from. And, you know, for me, Mansfield was all just scrapping and boozing all the time. And it just, for me, it was an outlet. So I found this fucking new world, loved it, passed the Royal Marines, and then in January of 06, I was down or posted to Taunton, so 40 Commando, Royal Marines, and then I was in Bravo Company, and then I met some amazing people, Louis Tinsley being one of those. He's obviously the co-founder of ThruDark, a really good mate of mine.
Great lad.
Yeah.
Do you know what I have to say about that? When we did the joint one with you and Louis a while back, or a month or so back ago, how well he spoke.
Yeah.
You come across really well, and you really complement each other well, I noticed.
Yeah, well,
in business and in a three-way conversation.
Yeah, thank you. And that's super kind as well. But I think it was sort of meeting Louis. You do that in life, don't you? You meet certain people and characters that you think, he's a fucking good dude, and you sort of and you get that feeling, and then you sort of stick together and you kind of sort of connect in that way. And other people that were also in the same company were Ant Middleton, you know, and a few other people that have since gone on to Special Forces as well.
What's he like?
And
I've heard there's so many mixed reviews you're hearing of people saying about Ant Middleton is this. What actually is he like as a bloke?
If for my personal take on Ant, I fucking love the bloke. Yeah. He's such an amazing person. You know, he's kind, very generous, very thoughtful. He was a consummate professional. So when we were in the Special Forces, he was one of the people. And bearing in mind that Special Forces are the top tier of people, it's kind of like now you're selecting from the best of the best in England. And if you had to ask me, Staz, out of all these fucking blokes, you can only pick a 5-6 man team. He would have been on my team. Yeah. Absolutely. He was fucking very, very good at the job. And a fucking fun person to be around. Super positive. His energy is incredible. He's somebody when he's in a room that you just want to fucking be around. And I liked him. And I still like him now.
Where did these come from then?
So you know what it is, mate. You've had it as well. It's a fucking green-eyed monster. A lot of these people, there's things that people say and do and the way that they act. And, you know, I think for some people, they just want to be fucking upset. Yeah. You know, they just want to be angry. They
want to be neg for no reason. They've got a fucking
shit life. Yeah. They're not happy with their fucking fill. And what they do is they just project that outwardly, you know, and it's savage to see. And it's I just feel bad for people like that for the most part.
But Half done well for himself, hasn't he? Fair play to him. Fair play to him,
fuck does he fuck, mate? You know what I mean? It's like, doesn't go. But that's hard, mate, because that's something you've got to wrestle with yourself on a personal level, you know, because, you know, we've been through that as well, me and Louis. You leave that fucking world, you know, that echo chamber and that bubble of Special Forces, and it's a safe environment in terms of, you know, you've achieved all these things, you've got to the pinnacle, the very top of your game, and you then sort of say, oh, actually, I'm going to fucking step away from this now. And that's difficult. It's like, you know, professional sport as well. You kind of, you don't want to get off that train, but you know you have to at some point. And it's a brave call to do that. And with that comes, you know, some of the negativity towards, you know, what you're doing, what your thought process is. But, you know, these people that complain, like, who fucking cares? The majority of people have shitty comments online and social media. If I'm not fucking ringing you for your advice, then I don't fucking care what you're saying. I don't, you know, it's not a trusted opinion.
Was Ant Middleton in the SAS or SBS?
He was SBS.
SBS.
So based down here, both myself and Louis were also SBS as well. So that was quite funny to see how we went through that journey together in the Marines. And in fact, Ant was in training with me as well. So there's troop numbers, and they're separated by 2-week periods. So every 2 weeks there's a new troop or a new influx of recruits. And we were sort of 2 weeks apart from each other. So we were all the way through training in the same block. So I kind of saw him there as well. And what was interesting about Ant was that he'd already sort of passed or done all that his P company sort of training. So he was a recruit, but he got to wear his wings, which would never been seen before. So everybody was kind of, the fuck is this guy? He's got some of the Royal Marines instructors didn't even have their wings, so it was unusual. But so he came in with a different kind of standpoint. He'd already had that experience in the military.
And was he a couple of years ahead of you? Was he?
What in the Marines, 2 weeks. We were within 2 weeks of each other, and then we went to the same company, and then we did like deployments and bits and pieces together. We went out training, Sierra Leone, did all this fucking cool stuff together. And then he went on selection about 6 months, I think, before me. I then went and did my sniper course when I was in the Royal Marines, and then I went into Special Forces. But before that, in that 3-year period in the Royal Marines, I guess the main thing for me, and the why do you want to go and progress, and it's a difficult one, because it's when you pass the Royal Marines course to be a commando, it's a fucking privileged day. It's amazing, and you get the coveted green beret, so the beret that you wear, the Royal Marines, the globe and laurel, the cap badge. You get your stable belt, you get your commando flashes on your uniform, and you're fucking proud. You stand in, your neck's in the back of your collar. It's a proud fucking day. And then you go into the Royal Marines and you think, that's it, let's have it. Where everybody's the same. But it actually wasn't. There are people doing different things, and there's different varying levels of people in there. And that's not me slating people in the Royal Marines, but it's the same across the board, across the paras, across the army, infantry, and all this. You get people that want to be there and want to do the top pinnacle of that job, and other people that just kind of want an easy day. They want to be a driver or a chef or a fucking clerk. And
that's not needed. Everyone's needed.
They all play a vital role.
Where did you know you had a good shot? How old are you? Did you know before you went into the Marines you were a good shot, or did you realise when you were there, I'm actually a good shot here?
No. Apart from being probably a little mischievous individual as a kid with a fucking catapult and an air rifle. but no, I didn't. And so when I didn't do any air cadets and fucking Marine cadets and all this kind of stuff, it just fucking didn't interest me. Beavers, all that shit. It didn't interest me. So when I joined the Marines,
Beavers,
yeah. Got my puffin 25-metre badge. Still attached to my trunk.
Budgie smugglers.
Yeah, which are coming out soon. Budgie smugglers. Yeah,
are you doing budgie smugglers?
Yeah,
are you? Yeah. Mate, we'll go on to that in a bit.
Yeah, we will. Got this image now. And, fucking brilliant.
In fact, the last time I saw you budgie smugs, we were skiing.
Yes.
Were they ThruDarks?
Yes.
Or were they budgies?
Yeah,
I can't remember.
No, they were. They were the sample.
Yeah.
So, yeah. You've been blessed.
Yes, happy days, mate.
Scarred, blessed.
Scarred.
No, but sort of shooting-wise, you go into the Marines, and it's part of it, your training. That's when you get introduced to a rifle and everything else. You start shooting, and I very quickly picked it up. I was quite proficient. Then when I left sort of training, went into the Marines, clearly there's standards that you do and all the other courses and bits and pieces. But towards the latter end of the sort of 3 years, I'd been on an operational tour with the Marines in Kabul, which was interesting. I think I mentioned that as well in my book, that about the kind of first experience that I had of a contact, because you can do all this fucking training in the world, and you kind of know what you're doing, but you don't. If that makes sense. You're training in the Marines. I remember one day we were on the shooting ranges, way out fucking wherever. And we're all doing these things, we're shooting, and the targets are metal, they're falling when hit or missed. So you're going through these drills, but you have to connect the dots, connect the bullet to the gun, and fucking hell, we're training here to shoot and kill people. It's fucking serious business. But you've still not connected that physically, because all you're doing in training is shooting at fucking metal targets. So you kind of run through this, and there's one day you're doing bayonets, you know, a bayonet, a knife that's attached to the end of your rifle for close quarter, kind of trench fighting or close-up urban fighting. And we're doing these drills, and we're running in, and we're doing the screaming, show me your war face, and then you run over and you're attacking a sandbag that looks like a person, you know, that's kind of filled out, and you know you're going in with a bayonet, war cries. And you sort of stood back. And I remember stood back 21 years old, just looking at other people do it and having this sort of weird moment of, what am I doing? And what are they doing? Right, sure, go Staz. Yeah. And I was like, this is fucking bizarre.
Yeah.
But the penny drops almost of, fuck, we're training to fucking do that to people, you know. But that's the ultimate reality of war.
So for you then, going on a tour as a Royal Marine, what was that like?
It was sensory overload. It's probably the best way to explain it. There's so much to do, so much going on. There's so much things that you're thinking about in terms of your job. What's my role? What specifically am I being asked to do within the team? Yeah. And then you go out and you roll out of the gate. You're in these kind of semi-armored vehicles, but you know you've got your weapons as people. You're navigating to places. It's all new sights, smells, environments. It's a different culture. You know, it's a dangerous place. You know, but you're fucking wet behind the ears, mate. And you do not know what the fuck is going on. Yeah. And then the first time you have, you know, a contact, so contact is initiated usually from the enemy. So you'll be fired at, or it'll be an RPG, a rocket. For me, it was an RPG, so a rocket-propelled grenade that was fired at us, landed just off about 20 meters, hit a wall, and then an IED went off. We were kind of driving into an ambush, and then we sort of debus. And I just remember fucking looking around, because the vehicles are magnets, they're bullet magnets. That's what they're going to be firing at. So very quickly, you get away from that magnet. Look around, find some cover, a fucking ditch, a bit of hard cover, a big rock, a building, a corner, whatever that is. But also being aware and situationally aware of where everybody else is. Yeah. And the first time it happens, it's like, have you ever been in a boxing ring? Have you ever boxed with people? The first time you do it, I remember doing it as a kid, and you don't know what the fuck, you just tunnel vision. Yeah. And when the bell goes to finish, you don't know where the fucking corner is. Yeah. And that's 4 corners. Now you add more layers of complexity with people, weapons, a fucking different environment. Yeah. And you're fucking scared. You know, it's a scary environment. So we sort of get into these positions. I'm trying to dig a hole with my chin. Everybody else has got, it's one of those things, it's like musical chairs. When you quick race to get the chair. He's got the best cover. Fuck, I've got no cover.
Get the chin out.
Really shit game of musical chairs. Get your fucking chin out. And fucking, so you're in the position, and then you wonky helmet on, and then you're like looking out. Where's the enemy? Because it's not fucking obvious. Yeah. I'm not on a range anymore. I'm not on a gallery range where there's a target at a fixed location, distance-wise, that looks like a metal target, and you just think, wow. And then you're looking at other people, and everyone's shouting, screaming. Your comms, you've got communications going off. It's all fucking chaos. And where's the enemy? Anybody seen? Not seen? Anybody? Fucking people are firing, and there's more bullets and things going off. And it's chaos, mate. It really is.
Yeah,
and you think before you go into that you're going to be cool, calm, collected. You're going to go through these drills and these procedures that you ran through before, and you don't.
Yeah. So was there a period when you were there then, looking around, going, "What's the next step? I'm in the Premiership of what I'm doing. How do I get to the Champions League to get into Special Forces and stuff?" What triggered you to?
That takes fucking time, because during that time when I was digging a fucking hole with my chin, I was thinking I was Conference League, but at that time you're sort of not really thinking about the next steps. You're just you're building yourself and your experience through experience. That experience is times 1,000 equals experience. You have to become experienced. You have to build brick by brick, contact by contact, all these different things. So by the end of that tour, towards the end, one of our roles was to look after the camp security. So they'd have towers up in the camps, and we would man it, and it was all kind of rotated and take times between whatever you were doing. And I remember being on the front gate of the camp, the British camp. So any sort of ingress, egress of vehicles that were coming in and out of the camp, we would have to check. So there's kind of the bollards, there's a sort of chicane that slows the traffic down, where their weapons kind of get out, show me your ID, who are you, where the fuck are you going, that kind of usual jazz. Name's not down, you're not coming in, sort of thing. These 2 vehicles rolled in like Hiluxes, like 4x4s, just kind of pickup trucks. And there's 2 of them, and there's about 6 to 8 guys in there. They jump out, we can see that they're British. They're wearing fucking jeans, like approach shoes, flannel shirts. They've got different caches on. The caches are like body armor and things that carry your magazines, and different radio systems, different weapon systems, beards, long hair, caps, sunglasses. Cool as fuck.
Yeah.
I was like, who the fuck are these guys? I was. It wasn't until, they got their ID out and it was obviously British, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, didn't ask any questions, in you go. And I remember them sort of going through, and they were super polite, really humble guys, addressed everybody, looked at everybody, spoke to everybody really well. And then in they went to the camp to do whatever they were doing, their meeting. And I remember at that time sort of thinking, who the fuck are those guys? And I remember speaking to one of the other guys beside me, like, who the fuck are those dudes? They look like fucking badasses, you know? And it was the SBS. So that was my first physical sort of interaction with special forces. Now, I'd known about special forces. When you're going into the Marines, I'd started reading books before I joined the military, and that's another precursor to why I think books are incredible. I didn't read much. I wasn't an academic at school, but when I left, I started reading the things that I was interested in, autobiographies and all this kind of stuff, and military history, Marines, paras, and then special forces. So I had an idea of who they were and what they did, but it was kind of shrouded in mystery. But that tour in particular, right towards the end, it was the first time I sort of saw up in person, in the flesh, special forces.
And then when you landed back, what have you got to do to say, do you got to be your hand up, or does your boss say, well, I think you should go to the next stage now? Yeah,
so it's the first. It used to be the latter. So you had to be put forward previously, I don't know when let's say it's 2005, before it was kind of a joint special forces thing, you would have to be put forward. And the prerequisite for that would be, you've got to be a fucking good bloke, and you've also had to have so many tours, you had to have so much experience, you had to be a certain rank or level, all this kind of stuff, tick, 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 tick. And that changed. I might be getting the date wrong, but let's say, for argument's sake, 2005. And then it was it's now this joint sort of selection thing where everybody, and previously it was, if you want to go to the SBS, you go and do their selection course. You want to go SAS, you go and do their selection course. You want to do whatever, fill in the blank. But now it was all kind of one all-encompassing selection process. So for me, towards the end of that 3 years, I thought, fuck, I've kind of done 3 years in the Marines here, and I'm looking around, and what do I want to do? Right. Fuck it, I'm going to give this a go. And I was thinking about it. I was talking to a good friend of mine at the time about doing it. We were sort of keeping really physically fit and active. I was enjoying the soldiering side of things. And he actually put me forward for a briefing course. A briefing course is a week-long course that sort of is a pre-selection course. So you would come down to Poole or Hereford, and for that week you get beasted, navigation, big heavy packs, usual stuff that you'd expect. And you're sort of tested to make sure that you're physically fit and robust enough to even start selection, and 2, you can navigate correctly, and 3, that your soldering proficiency is of a high standard. So somebody put me in for that, a friend of mine. So we did it together. He came in one day and said, I fucking put us onto a briefing course. And that's probably a really good thing that I learned.
What's his name?
Jim. Okay. Yeah. But he wanted to do it as well. Unfortunately, Jim he failed. But would I have put myself in for it? I think so. But that's kind of the nudge I needed, because once you set a target and there's a date, you think, fuck, I've got something to work towards now. Rather than sort of, I might do it, I'm thinking about doing it. All those people, I'm thinking about starting a business. I want to do that. I want to start that fitness program. But actually, when somebody sets it, you think, okay, right, I've got something to work towards now. So right towards the end, I started thinking, well, what's the best thing that I could do that will set me up for success for special forces? And the hardest infantry course that you can do, in my opinion, in the military, is the sniper course. So the sniper course.
What other courses are there?
There's physical training instructors to be a PTI. You can be a heavy weapons specialist. You can be a mortarman. You can be drivers. All these kind of different things. But for me, the pinnacle of soldiering, to be the best soldier in any sort of battalion or unit, is a sniper. They're highly regarded. They're very proficient on their own. They're very good at soldiering, very good at navigation, very good at weapons and tactics, very good at communicating. They work well on their own, or as a pair, or as a team. So for me, it was, right, let's do the fucking Royal Marine Sniper course. And that is highly regarded as the best infantry sniper course in the world. Other people from America and Dana, all these, Norway, all these people come in to do they send their best people. And out of every course let's say there's 2 courses a year, there's about 12 people loaded onto a course. So it's fucking out of how many hundreds and thousands of people within the Marines, they select, or there's again the pre-selection course to go on that. So the best people in their units go for a pre-sniper course. The best 2 people from each unit then get loaded onto the sniper course. And then the best person from America or whoever, whichever unit, they also send their best person on the course because they've only got 2 spaces. So the 10 spaces are taken up from the Royal Marines. The other 2 spaces or 3 spaces are from, America or whichever partner country. So straight away, you've got a good caliber of person, and that course it was fucking brilliant. I loved it. I absolutely loved the sniper course. And I said to myself, if I can pass the sniper course, then that will set me up in really good stead for special forces. It'll be a really good prerequisite. So the sniper course is down at CTC. I think you spend the best part of...
What's CTC?
Commando Training Centre in Lympstone.
Yeah.
So all the courses are run back at that Commando Training Centre. Everything goes there, from being a recruit to a command course, if you want to be a corporal, a sergeant, colour, all these officers, all the training is run from there for all the different courses. So the sniper course is also run from there. And the main 3 things that you focus on as a sniper is shooting, clearly. So the first 6 weeks of the 12-week course is precision shooting, long-range shooting, because if you can't pass that phase of the course and you're not proficient enough or you're not good enough, then there's no point carrying on with the rest of the 6 weeks. You imagine doing all the training and then it gets to the shooting bit and you're just fucking shit. It's like, we've wasted our time. So you cover all the shooting first, get it all out of the way, and the margin of error on that is fucking fine, and you might lose 3 or 4 people that are already marksmen, that are already very good shots. So, you're shooting high winds, rain, whatever fucking weather, all the way up to sort of 1,000 meters, and it's really fucking precision.
And are you done on the amount of hits you're making? How are you judged on that?
Without going into too much detail, generally throughout that 6 weeks, you're evaluated every day from everything from 100 meters all the way back to sort of 1,000 meters. And there's certain scoring systems whenever you're shooting. You do courses of fire and shoots and bits and pieces, and they're constantly, every round is recorded and marked, and then your score just keeps getting tallied up, and you have to be at a certain level. Let's say it's at a 90% proficiency shot rate of hit, and anything below that is you're off the fucking course. Wow. So it's difficult, it's intense, it's difficult. And then once you've passed that, you then go into the kind of skills phase of being a sniper. So that's your craftsmanship. That is stalking. Stalking was brilliant. So you're kind of crawling. I fucking love the stalking element. And that is all your kit on, all the stuff that you'd probably expect to see, the Chewbacca suits, all the leaves and fucking all sorts hanging out your helmets and cam creams and all that sort of stuff. And you basically look like a bush crawling around. You have your sniper rifle with you and you're crawling around, getting into a position. You've got 2 people looking for you, trying to spot you that are snipers. And you've got a certain time frame in which to do this, and then there's certain scoring parameters as well to get into a position within a certain time to release your shots. You're shooting blanks, obviously, but the position and everything is checked, your range, your wind calls, your actual stability of shot, all this kind of stuff. It's really fucking detailed. And it's like Groundhog Day. Every day you do stalking, an observation, and a navigation stance or exercise. So those 3 things, every day you're doing it for the next 6 weeks. And again, you're continually assessed. And here's the bar. If you fucking don't hit it, you're off the course. So at the end of that, I was successful. I passed. Again, that was fucking brilliant for me. And then I fucking remember going in to see the chief instructor, who was a right knobhead. I didn't get on well with him, and I don't think anybody did.
Remember his name?
He was, Rob. He was quite angry. He's from it was a Geordie, Newcastle or a Mackin, whatever. But it's difficult when you've achieved something, or it's this arrogance thing and this ego thing, isn't it?
Was he looking down at you?
Yeah. If you're a sniper, and then you can let that fucking get to your head.
Yeah.
And you think, I'm the fucking chief instructor, I'm the fucking man here. And rather than having the opinion of, these people are here, they're committed, let me teach these people, let me show them what they can be, how good they can fucking be. Some people go the other way. I don't want them to pass. They have two different sort of mentalities with people. It's the same on selection. Some people want to help you as director.
Same in business.
And business. Some people want to help you, and other people just want to fucking, no, I've done it. It's hard. So, no, let's just keep, it's excellence creep, isn't it? Keep moving the goalposts and bits and pieces. So we didn't get on that well. But at the end of the day, if you are hitting, pardon the pun, the target, if you're hitting the required standards for each thing, it doesn't matter. You're fucking good enough. You have achieved everything they've set out, and you passed the course. So I remember going into his office. It's the last day of the course. Come in, fucking, let's have a chat. And he was like, okay, yeah, so well done. You know, you've passed the course, blah, 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 blah. And he tried to mark me down. There's two different levels of passing a sniper course. It was, let's say, a distinction, and a distinction is like the best one you can get. You're 95% and above, and anything below that, but still passing is a normal pass. I got a distinction. It's on the board. All your scores are outside the main office, the board, your name and what you've done on everything.
Everyone else can see it as well.
Everybody can see it.
Okay.
And it's like green, red, green, red, and then, you know what I mean? So you know what the scores are. And I said, and he wrote my report. Your report then follows you back to your unit, and then your boss would read that and say, well done, Staz, you fucking congratulations, well done. It's coveted to be a sniper. You then move into a sniper job or position within a unit, or into a recce troop, and then you're in your own little kind of bubble, and it's a prestigious thing. And he sort of wrote, yeah, well done, you passed and you've done. And I went, oh, so sorry, Rob, Sergeant Rob. I've got I thought I had a distinction pass. No, you fucking didn't. No, you haven't. And it was just all this really awkward thing.
Why?
And then I just said, it's okay. And then he went, he looked on the, I'll correct it. Don't worry, I'll send it. And I went, look, forget about it. It doesn't matter. Like, I know I've done it. It doesn't matter. Leave it.
Why do you think deep down he was like that?
Okay,
did he not want you to overtake him? Did he not want you to have the credit?
No, it's not that. It probably a clash of opinions as well, and people, but I don't know. He's just a fucking angry, upset individual. He's at the end of his career as well, and he probably sees people coming through that, have got a bit of a spark, or people that are heading somewhere. Sometimes you're like, oh, fucking hell, he's gonna, he might do well, and other people, and they just hold a grudge against you for that. But then I remember him saying to me, like, well, where do you want to go? What sniper billet do you want to go to? And I sort of was like, I don't want to go to one. And he was like, what the fuck do you mean? And I said, I'm going on selection. I'm going on Special Forces selection. And he was like, he literally nearly spat his tea out and was like, fucking good luck with that. He literally said, good luck with that. And I was like, fuck. It later transpires, I found out he'd fucking failed selection. So, if he couldn't do it, nobody could fucking do it. I'm not as good as him. I'd fail. Why am I even trying? So that fucking really lit a fire in my belly as well. And I was like, fuck, I'll fucking show you. And funny thing, that came full circle. He was a unit platoon weapons instructor guy, and he came round to work back on camp when I was in the special boat service in the SBS, and he's come on as he's the guy who just books the ranges and sorts the fucking ranges and the bullets out for you, and we turn up and shoot and do our thing, and thanks Rob, brilliant. And he didn't know I'd been badged, and I saw him maybe 5 years later, and I bumped into him in one of the fucking sergeant's messes, and he was kind of back turned and was like, what the fuck are you doing here? And I was like, what the fuck are you doing here? It was one of those brilliant moments, like, yes, karma.
Thank you.
Karma.
Yeah, absolutely.
But so I went from there, and then I went on to selection. So selection was 2008, so summer 2008, and fucking hell, what a kick in the tits.
Was that another level going up again in the training?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's a selection process. You're a volunteer, back to your original point. I volunteered for this course. This is a course that you say, I want a bit of that. Yeah. Off we go. So you start day one, week one, and it's a 6 to 9 month course. The first element, or the first phase, is the hills phase in Wales. It's just big, heavy Bergens. Can you navigate? Are you physically fit and robust enough to make it over these checkpoints? And everything's just, here's the standard, here's the weights, can you fucking do it? And off you go, and you're pretty self-sufficient. But the main takeaway for me for that was, can you deal with that monotony of getting up every day early? It's fucking dark, it's cold, your fucking legs are burning, everything hurts, you've got blisters all over. You're fucking, can you self-motivate yourself and go, yeah, I'm gonna fucking sort my kit out, I'm gonna eat, I'm gonna feed myself, I'm gonna fucking stay hydrated, I'm gonna look after my kit. And it's quite although you're on a course with people, and you might know people and you make friends, you're there for yourself. You're there to go, fucking, the attrition rate is horrendous for selection.
So how many people roughly went in, do you think?
We joined about 240 people, and six to eight of us passed at the end. So looking at people, there's no, not everyone's going to be there at the end, and you might not be there at the end. So you just have to focus on you and yourself, and every day turning up and trying to fucking hit those marks every day. And it's, some days you can break it down into days, and then the days sometimes get broken down to hours. The hours sometimes get broke down to fucking minutes. The minutes sometimes to seconds, just depending on where you are. But physically, that is probably, it's the hardest physical thing that I've ever done.
Are they trying to mentally break you as well?
Yeah. So the military in general, what they will do is they just layer. They layer everything on, and there's a reason why things haven't changed too much. For quite some time, and that layering happens over time. You understand and find out who people really fucking are when you add these little complexities on and layers of sleep deprivation. Don't give them as much food or water. Let's ask them to do crazy physical things where they're absolutely fucked. So then you're mentally, physically drained. And then we ask them to do complex tasks. We layer it on now with a military like mission, or start shooting and things like this. So your brain is just firing, and it's overloaded with information. And then also on top of that, how do you react? We're all fucking brilliant people, aren't we? When we're all fit, healthy, well rested, well slept, and then something happens and it's fine. But we've all been there when you're fucked, when you're tired and you're knackered, and you get to see the real people, don't you? You get to see that real person and their real fucking character when they're fucking low and hanging. And that's why, back to one of my original points was around the Marines setting me up for success. One of their mantras, or one of their sayings, is that cheerfulness in adversity. And there's a big thing in the military in general about the gallows humour, and it's quite a dark sense of humour because there's shit times that you've got to go through, and if you can look at left and right at the people and just have a laugh at your misery.
Well, the king of that is Phil Campion.
Fucking right. Have a laugh at your misery, mate. And you got to embrace that and laugh at yourself and laugh at other people. And that kind of forms a deeper bond as well between people as well. So that phase there, that whole selection process is designed and it is designed in that specific way to really break people down physically and mentally.
That's interesting when mentioned there having a laugh, because Phil Campion has a laugh at every angle he possibly can. And when you hear his story, it's like, wow, how can you laugh at that? But he turned everything into fun. Fair play to him. What was your first ever tour once you got into the SBS? What was your first ever tour? Where was it?
So obviously after the sort of selection process, you hit a body and everything is pretty fucked. And I think they say it takes about 12 months for your body to fully recover.
Is that right? 12 months?
After selection, it takes such a toll physically on your body. But your badge, I remember being badged or sort of passing the course, and you go down to your respective unit, and it's quite a low-key affair. You meet the commanding officer and some other people from the squadron, or whoever's on camp will come and attend to sort of clap you in and sort of welcome you into the ranks. And you get your new beret, so you've got a new green sort of beret, different cap badge. It's a Special Forces cap badge, a different stable belt, different thing, and it's quite low key, which I quite liked. And then it's a kind of that feeling then of like, this is the military, but it's different.
Okay.
It's
Did you notice that straight away?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a different kind of energy, a different sort of feeling across the camp, and it's more relaxed, and nobody's marching around, nobody's shouting, and it's just really fucking chilled and relaxed, but not in a lazy, flippant, throwaway sort of scene, if that makes sense. It's kind of, there's an underlying professionalism that runs throughout the camp, and what people are doing. There's purpose with what people are doing.
You're basically in the top 1% of the 1%.
Yeah,
and you're all clocking each other again. There must be a massive respect there.
There's a massive mutual respect, and there's that kind of thing that you get the nod because everybody that stood around you or wearing that stable belt or that beret is they've done exactly what you've done. And they've achieved that kind of that staple.
So when you've gone in there and you've all achieved it, say if there's 5-6 of you who actually gone through, is there a hierarchy in the amount of years that people have been down there going, oh, here they go, there's a newbie coming in?
Well, yeah, so it's fucking snakes and ladders again, isn't it? You think, fucking, yes, I'm the boy. No, you don't think that. But, you have that moment of, it's a proud day again. You think, fucking hell, I've done this. How the fuck have I dragged my carcass through that? And then you start again. Then you realise when you join the squadron, and then you get welcomed in the guys, and it's all new. Everything's fucking different. The kit, the equipment, the weapons, the fucking technology is fucking different, because the Special Forces need all the best kit and equipment, clearly. So you have to learn again. It's this steep learning curve of people and nuances and how things flow and move and all the kind of kit and equipment, and you're just looking around thinking, fucking, this is just completely different. And when I joined, it was a really, really fucking busy period operationally. You know, Afghanistan was fucking so busy.
So we're talking 2009?
2009. Yeah.
Okay.
So back end of 2008, badge, bit of Christmas leave, couple of weeks, and then join on the January into the squadron, and then my squadron was next on deployment. So we were now in a pre-deployment phase. So we were getting ready to deploy, and sort of 2 months before that, you're going out to different places to do all the kind of skills and drills and meet and work with the team, and you start doing all the beat up phase for going out. So you're kind of, it's a busy period, and so it's all the kit, equipment, and you're learning everything. Everything's fucking new. You are the new guy, but you have the respect, but you are the fucking new guy, and it's kind of like, listen, things are different here. Like, it's not the fucking Royal Marines. We work, we operate differently, we communicate differently, we expect different fucking things, different standards, you know, but ultimately it's big boys rules. You know, you have proven that you can get to this part, but the selection process is only designed to get you to the here. You're now on a probation. You have a year's probation. And at any stage in that year, if you fucking deploy or you fuck up, you're out. You're fucking hit the fucking snake, and you're back into the Royal Marines. And that happens sometimes, you know, for obvious reasons, you know. So you've got that in the back of your mind as well. Fucking don't fuck up. But also be yourself. You know, you've gone through this process. You know, you have to be self-assured, but not arrogant. You know, it's a fine balance, a fine line that you tread, isn't it? And then I deployed in 2009, you know, with the squadron, and we're into Afghanistan, and it was, for me, everything I say this, you know, loosely dreamed of. Everything that I thought Special Forces were and did was on that tour. That 6 months operational tour was fucking incredible. It was out every night. It was fucking high energy, hunting high value targets, doing some incredible missions that, you know, looking back now, were just fucking wild. It was like the Wild West, but surrounded with incredible, like-minded fucking apex fucking people that were at the top of their game. And again, you do that thing where you look around and shit, there's so many good people here, and leaders and team leaders and commanders and highly skilled individuals, from demolitions to snipers to forward air controllers to you're just looking around, just sort of wow. And then you sort of pick the person, your team leaders, and go, fuck, he's a fucking good dude. I want to be like him. And then you sort of attach closely, and you know, then you're sort of learning. How
many sort of men were there on that operation from the Special Forces? Roughly
on the ground and things like I can't really say. I don't want to really go into like numbers and operational numbers. Are we talking
like 20 men, like a tight 20 men moving around together, or you split off in sixes?
It changes. It changes. It really does change in terms of footprint on the ground as to what the mission is and what you're doing. That's probably as far as I can go into that. But you do split off at times in pairs and fours and sixes or tens and 20. It just really just does depend on what the mission is.
Is there one mission that really stands out in your mind, Staz?
Yeah, my first job that I did.
Was it the first one?
So certain jobs in Special Forces, if they're a fucking good job, back in like the sergeant's messes on camp, they get kind of immortalized and painted. They turn into paintings that get put onto the wall. You know, so in the officers' mess, the sergeant's mess, and around camp, certain things are just like, you remember that job, and and this goes back all the way. It's history.
Oh, quality.
It's history. Yeah. And I remember this first job going out, and we fucking planned this to do this mission, and we go out, and it's the first time I've really gone out with the squadron, and you know, we kind of land away, and we're walking towards a target, and it's just new. Everything's new. My world's a green haze through night vision and new weapon systems and the way they move and talk, and it was so real. And then we line out the kind of, before we start to flood through the kind of compound, there's certain things that we're doing and check off. Then it's like, right, stand by, fucking go, we're in. And it's just so fucking
And what
kinetic.
are you wearing? Tell me, so I can picture it. What are you wearing? What are you going into? Are you getting helicopters in, or how does it work?
Yeah, it depends. Helicopters and bits and pieces. That was a helicopter job, but we've landed away, and we walk in, and we're walking through the fucking baddest places. We're sneaking through the kind of hornet's nest, if you will, getting into a position where we're ready on our sort of on our terms when we're going to strike. And you know, we've got all the technologies above us and all this kind of stuff. stuff, and we move in, and it's like the OK Corral. It just goes off, and but it's brilliant to be a part of that. And I remember just running through, and it's so vivid today. I can remember it, the smells and the senses and everything, the pressures, the overpressure from the demolitions and the shooting and everything else. And it was a really successful mission. And we sort of went back to camp after that. Back to where the helicopters are refueled, and we get off, and very quickly we do a hot debrief. So after every mission, we'd always do a very hot debrief, and then we do a debrief maybe the day after, the morning after, that's a little bit more detailed. But we always do a hot debrief, get around, fucking everybody's just sweating, covered, and it's like, right, quick fucking lay down, what happened here, what happened there, who did that, what was the outcome of that? Brilliant. What was it mission success? What did we do well? What didn't we do so well? What could we learn from that? Anybody got any input? Any afterburners? Right, fucking good night. Go get some food.
So for that mission there, what was success?
So it was to kill or capture high value targets, and so we got our guy, and also a lot of badness in there as well. So there was multiple bad guys and the head of a network as well. So it was a really successful job. And I remember sitting back after this hot debrief, and I sort of new guy looked to one of the older, more experienced operators and was like, "Fucking, that was incredible." And he was like, "To be fair," he said, "you've been blessed. That was a very, very fucking special one. That was a really good fucking mission." And then I was sort of a bit like, well, they're not all like that. It was like Call of Duty.
Are you buzzing afterwards going, I want to go again?
Yeah.
I want to go again. Where's the next one?
It was a rush.
Really?
That adrenaline, that feeling is incredible. I'll probably get this wrong. It's Ernest Hemingway who talks about, once you've tasted that, you've had that feeling of hunting people and being hunted. There's no other feeling like it. And it is a mad dopamine hit. It's crazy. Everything is, your senses are heightened. It's just, you're living literally on that edge and in that moment.
Have you ever been into a mission where you've gone in and there's kids involved? There's kids there.
Yeah. I mean,
how do you react to something like that when you're going in for the mission and also the kids are running around? How do you go from training the mind from madness to?
I think that comes through training, and that comes through. We say this all the time. Special forces, we're not fucking bullies with weapons. We're not bullies with weapons, just running around, just fucking shooting at everything and anything that moves. That's not what we're there to do. We're a precision asset that's only used in certain missions and at certain times. We're high strategic government missions that require a special touch. But for us to answer the questions, when you go on to any kind of mission, it's always different. There's always different things. There's different smells, different locations. There's different sensories, overloads of women, children, cars, fucking dogs, bulls, cows, just madness. It's a crazy place. But it depends on where the mission is. Like sometimes it's more urban, sometimes it's more rural. Sometimes it's a farm. It's just different places. But the people that we were, fighting, it was all badness. We knew where we were going. We knew exactly. The intelligence pictures were very clear, and they would still, they would have horrendous things of people, and it happens now in the news. You can see it with, these fucking groups, these terrorist networks. Yeah. They're different. They are fucking barbaric, and they'll use women, kids as human shields, So it's very difficult. It's a different mindset to me and you, living our lives here. It's different. But that said, everything that we do is precision. We're never just running in and just shooting indiscriminately at wherever because we're scared or because there's fire coming. Everything is precision. Every round is accounted for. So
what are you wearing? Tell me exactly what you're wearing. Have you done missions in the night with the night goggles on?
Yeah, so again, we're afforded the best kit and equipment. Special forces, different budgets and bits and pieces. But generally speaking, you'd have a ballistic helmet on. Attached to that helmet, you would have night vision goggles, and then you'd have reactive air defense on that is connected to your communications. You'd have different radios. On your plate carrier, you'd have sort of a ballistic plate on the front and the rear, sometimes on the side as well. So that's to stop obviously bullets hitting you or prevent them sort of going through. So it's a plate, and then you would have magazines with more bullets. Then you would have water, you would have grenades, flash crash, all this kind of stuff. And again,
flash crash?
So the three bangers, so things that you pop out as a distraction. Okay. It's a distraction grenade, so it'll just throw it into a room here. It just very loud fucking stun grenades, like boom, 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 3 loud bangs. just to give you a little bit of extra time to assess a situation before you run into it. And then depending on what your role is or your job within the team, you could be a demolitions guy, so you'd be carrying a backpack with demolitions, and that's entry. You could have a shotgun on you to take hinges off doors very quickly. You could have little charges that take off locks very quickly. You can move or heavier breaching equipment to get into access into different areas and compounds and buildings. Also, the demolitions can be used to destroy things like weapons, drug factories, all this kind of stuff, or other explosive devices that you find. You can sympathetically detonate other IEDs, etc., etc. So other people could be a medic. Louis was a medic. I think he spoke about that. His bag would be full of medical kit and equipment and oxygen and all that kind of stuff. And then you'd have different people with more radios that would be forward air control. Just depend what people are carrying and what their role and job is. So you're fully laden, fully loaded down. I'd say weight-wise, you're probably carrying on top of yourself maybe 40 pounds, probably more.
Is that 20 kg extra?
Yeah.
How long would a mission last for? I know this is a kind of open question. A mission lasts for how long it takes you, but are you going in going, there's a mission there, we need to be in and out within 7 minutes? Is it done like that, or is it how it's like we need to go and do a job, and how long it takes? Let's get out.
Okay, 7 minutes would be good, wouldn't it? Jesus,
Yeah,
that would be a good one. If only. Yeah, no, but but it's a good question, mate, because some missions are differently. If you have a hostage rescue and things, then it's very time sensitive, because the longer you take to do something, the more increase of risk to life there is for mission success. But the majority of stuff that we did, it was always calculated and it was on our terms. So we would have an idea of where we're going, where we're heading, what the area looks like, how easy is it to get in and out. All this kind of appreciation is done pre going on the job, and this comes through an orders process and bits and pieces. So it really does depend what the mission is. But for the most part, you're trying to get things done as quickly and methodically as possible to allow that end state of mission success, or whatever that would look like. But there's been jobs before where you go out and things change very quickly. I've been out on missions before, and my role within the kind of team has been a sniper or a wall sniper, so gaining access through telescopic ladders and getting better vantage points and sharpshooting, and and then suddenly you've got a mission, you're going for a high value target, and one of the guys will get hit, and this happened to one of our guys. Very quickly, once you've fought through the position and it's safe to do so, the mission very quickly changes to the person that's been shot and injured. You want to get your mucker, the other operator, out there as quickly as possible, so that he's got the best chance possible of surviving. So that then changes into a casualty evacuation, and these things can take fucking time, and resource, and you have to get somewhere that's safe. And generally speaking, if you go into a place of badness, it's probably like going into Turling Moor. Very quickly word spreads and gets around. People very quickly come and get drawn into that. So you have to be very, very conscious of that as well. It's very different, the missions.
What was the time when you won you got the medal for the
Conspicuous Gallantry Cross.
The Gallantry Cross. Where was that? What year was that?
So my time in like 10 years in Special Forces, I deployed on about 5 operational tours, and then some other ones in Afghanistan, and then did some other things elsewhere as well. The last tour that I did in 2013, I was working with an Afghan partner force, and the role was very different to things that I'd done before in terms of the missions and everything else. It was more partner-led, and I was instructing and helping, and I was that person on the ground, and that role actually at the time, although I'd done a lot of stuff in my short period of being in the Special Forces, and I'd again been quite sort of lucky in the experience that I'd gained in such a short period, because the operational tempo was so high. I got put into a position that was actually above where I should have been. So it was mainly a sergeant or a colour sergeant's job, but I was a sort of acting sergeant, and the person that was supposed to do it couldn't do it. They then turned around and said, Staz, you're fucking in. In you go. We're happy. Go do your thing. And with that job came a lot of autonomy, which was great. I was in Kabul. I was in the capital, and I was partner, and I was liaising with lots of other forces and other people. And it was a very complex, dynamic, changing sort of situation. So there's a lot of responsibility that came with that job and that role. And we were working one target in particular that took a long time to kind of burn out, and in the end it was going to be at the time it's recorded as the biggest improvised explosive device that was ever recorded in the capital. Jeez. It was going to be a multi-staged attack across multiple different friendly forces camps, And we'd been watching this for quite some time and massaging the kind of relationships and the understand, and we wanted it to grow so that we could understand what was happening and who was involved and how far and wide that spider's web spread and who was involved. So there's certain things that you do and allow to happen because you gain more intelligence. And that's what we were doing. And at one stage, pretty much overnight, we'd rehearsed this job over and over and where it was and bits and pieces. And very quickly things changed. The situation changed. I guess the importance of the mission changed. Some things happened with some informants and pieces. Anyway, we had to go and execute on this target, and that was me leading that job, leading that sort of that charge, if you will. But the implications, strategic and government, were so high. Everybody was fucking watching this job. It was a big job, so I sort of felt the fucking pressure. I'm leading the team in, and we get to the kind of compound of interest, and I turn around to this sort of the partner force, which we'd rehearsed. They'd been brilliant before. We'd done multiple jobs before, no issues. And I kind of set a charge. Everybody ready, blow the door. And at that stage, it's partner led. You know, listen, guys, over to you. You know, I'm here to support you, and I'll come in with you. Generally speaking, you just run in the front with them anyway. And I remember looking around to them and it just didn't happen. You know, they, for whatever reason that night, they just got they knew how important it was. They knew how much explosives were in this fucking compound. You know, and don't get me wrong, it's a worry. At any stage it can fucking go up and we're pink mist. You know, but my kind of thought process was, well, what's the alternative? We have to step up and we have to do this. We have to make this happen. And they just fucking flat out refused, turned around and gave me the old, not today, mate, not today. So, fuck. So I look around at who I've got with me, and luckily I had some other guys with me from the unit that I'd called in for support. So we're kind of a 4-man sort of team now, assaulting a position, and thankfully it was a success, mission success. You know, everything was kind of secure at that point. So I've kind of got wrote up for that job, for kind of taking that decision and moving on and pushing ahead with the job at great risk, and also because that it saved a massive multi-stage attack, and it was quite big. And then there was another job that I did where I kind of ran over a hill, and I was being shot at, and a fucking grenade next to my face, and just, it was a mad night. And I kind of stormed a position running over, and grenades and all that kind of stuff, and just kind of in a blaze of glory ran over the top and kind of neutralized a couple of targets and a high value target and stuff. And so, but I think it was a culmination of the whole tour and how successful that tour was, and the kind of job that I did that was kind of above my station where I should have been operating, and all the things that I did external to not just the missions and the end result, but a lot of the other things that were put in place and everything else as well. So that was kind of you get wrote up by your bosses that are out sort of on the operations with you, and generally speaking, it's say, look, this is kind of what he's done and the effect that it's had, and this is why we think he's deserving of some form of recognition. And that recognition could be anything. Along that, it could be a Victoria Cross. Usually, you're in a coffin though if you get one of them, and all the way sort of down there, and it goes to a military board, then read it all and say, we think it's this. Everybody, happy, and then and on the medals things, there's a chapter in my book which I know we're going to go on to. There's a chapter in there.
So in your book here,
it says
the hard road will take you home. Yeah. Where did that name come from?
Yeah, so there's a lot of things, there's a lot of fucking stuff in that book, and on the medal stuff as well, but the title itself is actually pretty important to me. That's a mantra or a saying that I've kind of lived with since my military time. So when I was in Royal Marines training, bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, I think I was week 22 of 32, and it was summertime. We were just getting ready to leave for summer breaks. I have like 3 weeks off. We were on the bottom field where all the kind of assault courses are and all this stuff, and we'd had a beasting all day. And anyway, the whole of the commando training centre's out on the bottom field. So all the people that are going through training and their troops are all sort of sat out waiting. And there's a infamous grassy knoll, it's called, on top, and all these kind of head shed are getting at the, sort of gathering at the top, and there's all these people and fucking crowns and pips and important fucking people, officers and brigadier, all this kind of stuff. Anyway, this big fucking commanding fucking guy walks across the top, and there's whispers going around. That's fucking, it's Conrad Thorpe. He's a fucking legend in the Corps, and he was also in the SBS, and he was he's a man mountain of a guy, but not sort of like big. He was just had a real presence about him, you know, fit, wiry, weathered. You just want to get in a tear up with him. And I think he was from either Zimbabwe or somewhere like that. I should know that. I forgot, and apologies. But he sort of stands on top of the grassy knoll and he's sort of talking to his peers. And then next thing he's addressing us. He's going to speak to us all. And you could fucking hear a pin drop. He turns and he's like, "Men," and it's just fucking silence.
Listen, quality.
Everyone's fucking looking up. And I was, you know, the hairs on the back of your neck. And he just delivers this speech about where we are right now in this world, what we're doing, what we're striving towards valiantly through fucking hardship and endeavour and all this kind of stuff, and being Royal Marines Commandos and what it means, and, you know, what we're doing, why we're sacrificing. And he was like, just remember when you go through all this stuff and, you know, and the difficulties that you will feel at different periods through the Royal Marines course, just remember that, you know, don't take the fucking easy options ever. Don't look for a fucking easy shortcut. That's not the way that we fucking do things. We're Royal Marines, we're fucking professional, and it's never served me right. And he just he was like, I'm going to leave you with this. Just remember, the hard road will take you home. Brilliant. And I was just like, it still gives me shivers now. Brilliant. And I was like, fuck. So when I left and went into my military career and into the Special Forces, whenever you're tired and we'll fucking do it, I'll fucking leave that all and cut a corner here. We'll fucking, you know, it's natural. The human brain is wired that way. It wants to find the easiest way to do things, but that's not always the right way to do things. You know, take a hard right over an easy wrong every day. And that was, for me, meant a lot. So that was really important for me to sort of put that down, and because it meant so much to me. And I've kind of tried to live by that as much as possible, and when and where possible, apply that in my life moving forward.
Have you ever been close to dying anywhere?
Oh, mate, I mean, yes, obviously with that's the nature of the beast and what is Special Forces, you know, it's operating in very diverse and complex, difficult fucking situations. You know, we've lost people serving, unfortunately, and had some close personal shaves myself. I think I've had mad, crazy moments, like Tarantino moments of bullet sort of around you and all that kind of madness. It's just luck of the draw. You know, it's not your time, it's not your night. But listen, when you join, you know, the Special Forces and the ranks, you know what you're signing up for. You know it's fucking, it's dangerous. You know, and that's what it's all about. But there's a buzz attached to that as well. You know, and for me personally, I was fucking blown up in a wagon, which was pretty hairy. So we hit a roadside improvised explosive device, which was sort of laid just below the surface, attached to a pressure plate. So we kind of drove over. Luckily, we were in a sort of 3.5 ton directionally armoured vehicle. For those reasons, the way that the hulls and the bottoms were specifically engineered and designed to kind of mitigate blast, and the seats that you had as well were kind of hydraulic seats that would collapse and almost take the majority or the brunt of the energy and the shock. And fuck yeah, I can remember that sort of rolling over that thing. It was really it was early morning, just rolling into first light, and I was the lead kind of wagon of a patrol of loads of people behind us, and we were just sort of just checking the route ahead. And you know, I had the map on my lap, fucking fresh brew in front of me, helmet on, and with these seats, these hydraulic sort of collapsing seats, they only really work if you put the kind of harness on, the racing harness that sort of 4-way clips you into the seat. Fucking didn't have that on because you're constantly getting in and out of the vehicles all the time. You end up just fucking ditching it. I had my kind of my plates on, my helmet chin strap was undone, I had a finger torch on, and I'm looking at the route, my head's fucking going, I'm busy, and the driver's sort of speaking to me. So we've got a driver on the front right, myself in the front left, and then there's a gunner in the back who's in charge of the heavy weapon on the back. And as we're driving back towards, you know, the convoy to turn around to say sort of, right, we're clear, come and follow on along the road or the track, there's a kind of a natural turning circle. And these are usually sort of big no-nos and big, but we're in the middle of the desert, we're in the fucking middle of nowhere. I think it was actually a legacy IED or mine that we'd hit. And he's on the radio to me, he's speaking to me, and there's loads of stuff going on, and we're trying to fucking just get out of there. We've been laid up all night. Let's get on the road. Let's start cracking on with the job and the next day's mission. And he sort of says, look, shall I turn around? Where shall I turn around? And I'm saying, let's just fucking do it here. And then I'm head looking down, finger torch, and, you know, night vision sort of, but I'm not looking through that. I'm just sort of, loads of stuff going on. And he was like, oh, I'll turn around just up here. And I'm like, just whip it around here. And he was like, no, there's a better place to turn just up here. And I'm like, yeah, fucking whatever, mate. Just whip the wagon round, you know, don't fucking make a big deal of it. And as we turned in, the rear left, so the front left had rolled over, and then the rear left wheel hit this fucking 70-pound huge improvised explosive device. And the only thing I can liken it to is being fucking just hit by a train. So you go from this thing. I've got photos as well of this. I can probably show you some. The vehicle is armored. It's a big fucking vehicle, but it's open as well. There's no kind of cover on it. It lifted and shifted this whole wagon about sort of 10 feet. The people behind us saw us hit this IED, and our kit and equipment it ripped the whole arse end out of the wagon. It was on fire. The shit went everywhere. And one of the guys, another operator, came up to me and he went, "I thought that was you guys fucking flying through the air." But it was all our kit and equipment. And, you know, I sort of jumped out. I was hit, like pushed out of the seat. I hit a metal rail sort of in the middle of us, smashed back down. That's why my back's pretty fucked at the moment. And I remember the driver sort of in a moment of sort of madness and panic thought we were under attack. He thought it was an RPG, and he's trying to get out of the wagon. He said, we're under attack, and I'm fucking grabbing him like, stay the fuck where you are, stay there. It's an IED. And obviously there's certain procedures that you go through. The last thing you want to be doing is getting out of the vehicle, just running into fucking madness. You might run over or step onto another IED. There's certain procedures you have to do in terms of checking the area. And I sort of take a minute to assess things, let them know on the radio, look, we've hit an IED, but we're okay. Just give me a minute to fucking assess the situation. And then I look through the back compartment. The fucking gun is fucking knocked out cold. It's fucking on fire in the back. And just having these comedy moments, I remember reaching through like, okay, just fucking stay calm, don't fucking flap. I reached to get the extinguisher, and I sort of lean out around the side of the vehicle, and I'm fucking get ready to fucking start extinguishing the fire, fireman Staz, and just fucking pull it, and it just silly stringed out the end, just didn't work. It obviously was affected by the blast, so fucking brilliant. That gets thrown out. Then I had to sort of crawl through the back, get the other extinguisher, put the fucking fire out, and look after the guy. Thankfully he was okay. He was just obviously knocked out, concussed, and they then had to get medically sort of evacuated through the helicopters and that whole procedure. And that was a mad day as well. And but throughout the whole training process as well, training's arguably just as dangerous as the missions, because you have to train that certain way. And I've had parachute failures, and jumping out full mission profile at night, and just kind of
hold on a minute, you had parachute failures?
Go on. So jumping out with all your kit and equipment on like you would for a real job. They say just before you go and do a job, you'll go and practice the job. And it was a full mission profile, everything that you carry, kit, equipment, on oxygen at night, jumping out at fucking 18,000 feet, jump out, and just had a fucking epic of a malfunction above me. And, it's all in the book, the details and the things that we learned from that, and also hitting the ID, things that we learned around why and how, and things that we can do next time to improve. But yeah, the parachute failure was fucking interesting. It was just, it was an epic, and then. So
when you talk about a parachute failure, are you thinking the parachute spinning up and around, or just didn't pop? Or
so for people that don't know, you're attached to your parachute by the risers or the bits of fucking rope string, through 4 points that go up to the top of the parachute. And as you sort of exit, the parachute starts forming or opening, and it takes about 8 seconds for the parachute to fully form and open. At that stage, you would then check. You get the handles that allow you to steer the fucking parachute. You do a left check, a right check, and a brake check. Yeah, I can steer it. I can land it. Fucking brilliant. Yeah. Right, now you're on with navigating towards where you're going, because there's multiple people jumping at the same time, and you want to get sort of together and land together as well as a kind of unit. And I was just fucking losing height. I'm kind of trying to look above my parachute to check my canopy, but my whole lines are all just twisted above me, and I'm thinking, fuck, now I'm trying to kick out. I'm pulling at these lines, and I'm like a fucking frog dangling my little legs, trying to kick out the other opposite way, and it's kind of working a bit, and it starts forming, and then I'm thinking, it's okay, don't fucking worry, don't panic, just go through the fucking drills that you're taught. And then the whole side just collapsed in and put me into a real violent G-shock spin. And at that stage, it's decision time. It's do I fucking carry on like this and land in a fucking ball of hurt, or do I cut away and then hope that the reserve opens? And obviously, thankfully, the reserve opened, and ironically had one of the best landings I've ever had in my life. It was fucking tippy toes and. What the fuck's just happened?
I'm alive.
Well, actually, when you pull that red sacred handle, it's called, for your reserve, I didn't even realise, but I'd done all my stuff and I landed. I still had the handle in my hand.
Yeah.
I was like, fuck. I've got it framed at the ThruDark HQ, and the red sacred handle. Yeah, but it's But there's loads of instances like when I've been diving off the North Shore and oil rigs, and where things can go wrong very quickly. And you're in this environment. It's at night time. It's fucking. Most stuff's done off field. You're on different air sets and bits and pieces and diving, which is hard and dangerous anyways. It is. Then we add all the complexity and nuances of Special Forces operations, then there's fucking no end of shenanigans and stories and things that go wrong, mate. Yeah.
So you had 10 years in the Marines. So 3 years in the Marines and 10 years in Special Forces.
Yeah.
When you left in 2018, I think it was, what was on your mind then, leaving a stable job to then what you've done over the last sort of 6 years has been pretty incredible, Staz, like setting up a clothing brand in ThruDark, that's become a multi-million-pound business, being on TV, SAS, Who Dares Wins, being on the Australian show now, lots of other stuff that you've done, and now you've written a book. What keeps driving you on to keep pushing boundaries?
I think if we look back, there's, success leaves clues, doesn't it? And if I look back throughout my whole life, the things that I've done and achieved, and I think hopefully without sounding arrogant, it does leave clues of success. But for me personally, all these hardships and these fucking knockbacks that I had as a kid, losing my mum at a young age and not making it as a footballer and being fucking bullied, or going through all this shit and this hardship, which at the time is fucking terrible. But what it does is it adds another layer to you as a person, as an individual. But I've always had a spark, a fire in my belly, I don't know, a chip on my shoulder, whatever you want to call it. I've had this driving force within me that I've always wanted to push myself. Whatever I'm doing, I want to be the fucking best at it, whatever I'm doing. So when I left the military, and you're right, that's a fucking hard decision, Before passing the Marines, all I wanted to do and be was a Royal Marine Commando. When I passed Royal Marines, all I wanted to do and be was be Special Forces. And you're so consumed by it. You just, everything you think about, the way that you act, everything is just fucking fully focused on that, and you're passionate about that. You have something to aim towards, something to aspire towards, and it's passion. And then when I was gearing up to leave the Special Forces, because I'd done so much in my military career, 13 years and 10 years especially, I condensed and squeezed so many amazing things into my life, and things that I was like, wow, look at what I've done and achieved, and tick, 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 tick. It takes a toll. It takes a toll on relationships and yourself as well, personally and physically and mentally and everything else. And I was going through a difficult period. I'd sort of split up with my first, my partner at the time and wife. We'd been together since a very early age. We got together super early, and we just grew apart, and it didn't really work out. And then I was leaving, and then I met my now current partner and wife, Ruby.
The lovely Ruby.
Yes,
very lucky man, Staz.
I am indeed, and I know that. I know that. But that was a big decision point for me. It was like, I've landed on my feet here. I've met somebody that I really connect with and that I'm happy with. Do I want the same thing to happen again? Looking back again, the only way we should look back is because it leaves clues, and it's telling us information that we should learn from. And for me, it was like, okay, why don't I leave on a fucking high? Let's leave on my terms. So I'm not that person kicking and screaming, being dragged and pushed and pulled the places I don't want to go. I decided to leave. Louis was also leaving, and it's something that we spoke about. What would the outside look like? And it's daunting because you're in that echo chamber, you're in that bubble. All of our skill sets, when you look outside, generally speaking, your natural transition is into private security and high-paid jobs, looking after people. And we did a bit of that. When we left, we were working really good jobs for the NFL and NBA and all these kind of jobs, and they paid well, and you got to travel again, and you're still surrounded by these similar people from different Special Forces backgrounds. So it was cool, but it was safe. But also it didn't light a fire in my belly. I was kind of thinking, fuck, I'm going through the motions here. And then we sort of had the idea of, well, if we were to leave, back to one of my points there, if we're going to do something, let's fucking do it to the very best of our ability. What would that look like? So then we started talking about things that we enjoyed doing, the outdoors and climbing and technical kit and equipment, because we'd been afforded the best kit in the military and Special Forces. There's things that we wore that was great, but we were like, we could fucking make this different. We can improve that. Why have they done this? And why don't they do that? And fucking naively, you need that naivety.
Yeah, of course.
How hard can it be? Fuck it, let's set it up. Let's actually look at it. And then before you know it, those transferable skills, then most of which are in the book there, it talks about the things that I've learned in my life and in the military and in special forces and in my life in general. You know, I say that, you know, I'm only 39. I'm, you know, still wet behind the ears. I've still got a lot of learning to do, but I've learned quite a lot in my short period on this fucking earth. And what I've tried to do is put as much as that of that learning into that book and make it easily achievable and understandable for people as well. And
so if anyone wanted to go and buy the book, how would you explain what's in the book here, Staz, from all the chapters, for someone to go, you know what, I'm going to buy that for Christmas. I'm going to have a good read of that one on holiday. I want to buy that for my son. Can they relate to what you've gone through in business?
Yeah.
How have you written it?
Yeah, it's a good question. I should have done a colouring in book. It probably would have been
dot to dot, mate. Would it?
Yeah. More appealing. I'll have two of them. Yeah. So for me, what I wanted to do is I didn't want to do an autobiography. And I wanted to do something different, you know. And the lads have smashed it, and these people have trailblazed.
Middleton's absolutely smashed it.
Absolutely trailblazed
and
it.
Foxy
And Ollie and Billy and the
amazing.
guys, and fucking hats off to them. They've really fucking set the scene for anybody that's leaving from our world to really kind of step out and think, do you know what? Because it's difficult when you leave the military. You have this weird thing of, can I say what I used to do, and do I make myself sort of visible on social media?
It seems to be
do I do
okay
fucking
now,
podcasts?
doesn't it?
And it's
Or
not.
not?
It's not okay.
It's not okay.
Not,
Are
it's
there certain
not
people look down at you for doing like a podcast or a book or being on TV?
Absolutely, mate.
Okay.
Absolutely. But again, back to the very original point we spoke about, that green-eyed monster, and a lot of people, I think if most people are honest with themselves, you know, it's not hurting anybody. It's not fucking giving anything away tactically. I'd never say, hopefully, anything or do anything that would put people at risk that are currently serving. I've still got friends and mates that still fucking serve. But it's a fine line, again, to tread. Because you have the almost unspoken rule of, it's not what we do, we're quiet and we're clandestine. But if I look at the reasons why I joined the military, it was fucking books. That inspired me massively to join the military and to join special forces. It did. So I try and look at things positively. What's the positive of that? And if you don't like it, fucking just move on. You know, people are entitled to their opinions. They are entitled to them. If people don't like it, it's great. It's your opinion.
So this book here, then, you've related it around business and your learning and your discipline and everything that won't happen to them.
Exactly. Okay. So it's not an autobiography, but what I've done is broken it down into sort of 4 stages. And then what I've tried to do on each chapter is focus on a point of reference. And then for that chapter, what I'll give you is a life experience, a special forces or military experience and story and learning and what's happened and why it's relatable. And then what I've done at the end is the business part. So, and then how can we transfer that into either your life, your business, you know, moving forward. And there's certain elements that you might go, that doesn't work for me, but some of it you can go, well, yeah, that works for me, and I like that. I like that fucking bit. And already, you know, I've had some great feedback already from people that are reading it from different various walks of life, from professionals to other different people, sports people and business people as well, that are like, fucking, it's full of some good little gems in there, hopefully for people to kind of really lean into. So, and that's how the kind of flavour of the book, the things that I've learned throughout my time that's related through stories and experience, and some funny, some sad, you know. And how can you be a better version of yourself? But it's not an inspirational book. You know, the guys have nailed this stuff, and Foxy, and they've done their thing. I wanted to be slightly different.
I think it's clever what you've done.
Yeah, I think it's different because nobody from our background in Special Forces has done what me and Louis have done in terms of a clothing business and moved into a world that is completely fucking different and nuanced and fucking difficult, you know. And
it's not an easy business. To set up or run.
No, and you know, mate, you set up a successful, you know, clothing business and sold and exited. It's a fucking hard world, mate, to get into. And what we've done, myself and Louis, I think, is just used our experiences and our knowledge into the physical product, into how we test, develop, how we communicate. And then in terms of growing a business, how do we talk and communicate to people internally, those beliefs and those ethos that I spoke about earlier? How do you bring that into a business setting? And I'm learning as well all the time. So this past sort of 5-6 years has been a fucking mad whirlwind, and it's been amazing. It's been incredible, you know, lots of failures and lots of successes, and you know, all mixed together. It's been an incredible journey.
What has it been like for you? You raising your profile, going on TV, because before you went on TV, only the people who in the special forces really knew you. As soon as you got on TV, gone whoop, profile's gone through, isn't it?
So that's a decision that you know, again.
Was that an easy decision to
make? No,
make?
it's not, mate. It isn't. I'll be honest. So when we left, myself and Louis, we started doing the clothing stuff. You're working like fucking beavers in the background, doing all the stuff that you're doing, and you're spinning all the usual sort of business plates. And then you have the decision to make. You come out on social media as a business, and we were focused on business. Everything that we did, sort of outward looking, so customer in for photos, we were blurred, our faces were blurred. There was kind of a mystery and a mystique around that brand, which is quite alluring. It was good, it was alluring and different. And then you get to a point where you're like, fuck. And actually we spoke to some good friends, some business people and trusted opinions and colleagues that were like, look, you and Louis are the fucking brand. Like, I get it, this mystery, but you're both like characters. I think you should come out. You should come out, but you should allow people to see who you are, so they can invest in you as people as well. Because you are the brand. Our DNA runs through every fibre of ThruDark. So that decision, we sat down. Okay, we'll do it. We'll sort of do a reveal and say who we are and do a bit, and then we'll move forward. And then you have to go through that obstacle then of people going, "Fuck, I don't think you should do that." And the brain's wired really fucking strangely, isn't it? It's like a defense mechanism. But for the most part, you can get 99 out of 100 comments, positive. That one fucking comment that just your eyes just get drawn to, and you fuck. No, just delete. Fucking delete. Breathe. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, mate. And you've got to fucking look after you. You've got to look after yourself, your family,
and people out there in business think that everyone's looking at what you're doing. People don't give a shit, mate. They don't care. They don't care. Everyone's so consumed in what we're doing. We all think people don't care. People are struggling to look after themselves, let alone care what you're doing, Yes, but that's down to social media.
It is, mate.
It comes down to that social media. How much has social media sped up your brand success?
Oh, it's been pivotal to our success. If you look at the people that we can lean into and our friends and our network, I think that's been another important part of the ThruDark success. Is a big massive shout out to the people that have helped us, and Foxes and Ants and all these people, and Nims, the people that have really helped propel the business through these social media platforms, because the dynamics have changed, haven't they, in business? I'm saying this like it's all I've known, but I can see from previous how people used to do things in the fucking yellow pages. Gone are those days. You can communicate with multiple people across different platforms very quickly.
You can have a global business overnight.
Massively,
you can become all of a sudden selling globally all around the world. It's unbelievable what it's done for us.
Unbelievable.
This is the best time in history to be an entrepreneur.
I agree. And you have the access to information that you can get to enable you to succeed. It's never been better. And I think we've been a part of this boom and this wave, this cycle that's helped us massively, and through influencer marketing and bits and pieces. And so very quickly we made the decision, ThruDark as well, it starts growing and gathering momentum and pace, and people are I think they're really liking what we're about. We're looking different. We've got we're not fucking copying everybody else. We've got our mission, what we want to look like. We've got a very unique feel and flavour about ThruDark. It's authentic, it's genuine, it's credible, it has a unique story.
And it's the quality.
Yeah.
The quality of everything. Every product I've got, the quality is just like top level, isn't it?
Thank you, mate.
Really is top level. It's
and
like
that takes time.
Like your Montclair and all these big brands you're seeing everywhere. This is above that, and you're only 6 years in.
Yeah, so for us, everything revolved around product and quality for us to begin with, and I think Steve, our investor and good friend, Steve Clark, he's been a huge help and inspiration to us from the very start. Very good guy, and I think that was his main concern. He's told us before, like, I was actually believed in you guys, wanted to back you, wanted to help you. We're friends, but he's an investor. But he was like, I was really kind of worried about the product quality. This could be anything, and we worked tirelessly with people and factories and product procurement and the quality, the sampling at the first stages of ThruDark, we were fucking crazy. 14, 15 samples of these parkas and different things, because we were very determined to get the best product quality that we could get.
Do you believe where you're at the moment, this is the best it can get, or do you think there's still improvement to be done?
There's always improvement.
Of course,
to be
but
made.
I'm saying, but do you feel like you're at a really high standard right now? Because the product that I have is unbelievable. It's all made in Italy. It's great comfort. The sizes are great. Every time you put on a new item, it's like, oh my god, you feel the dog's bollocks again. It's a really nice feeling.
Yeah, and these things again aren't accidents. And then the more you grow and the better you become as a business, the more you understand about the fabrics, the trims, the cuts, all this kind of stuff, and brand and telling the story. We're surrounded by incredible people right now. About 35 full-time staff, probably up to 50 with agency support and everything. And we've got product masters, people that are very passionate about garments, you know, and they've worked years in the industry, and we look at every sort of fucking detail. That I'm sort of looking at your jacket, and that's got 3 different like Polartec fabrics, like that won an Apex award as well last year, you know. So Polartec, they all these different brands that they provide fabric to, they picked that Centurion jacket as a Apex award winner. So we integrate.
I feel very privileged, Staz. I feel very privileged.
No, but to answer your question, and I'm passionate about it, you can probably tell it comes across. It's Kaizen. It's in the book. That's Kaizen, Japanese philosophy about always improving, always trying to sharpen the blade, make things better. How can we improve? And it's tweaks. Sometimes it's small tweaks. Sometimes it's, okay, we've done that now. Let's look at something different. Let's look at a new product.
What's success mean to you?
Success, I think, twofold. I think from a business perspective, it's one, being happy and being passionate about what you're doing. For me, that's success. If you're swinging your legs out of bed every day and you're passionate about what you do and it fills you with joy and happiness, that's success. It's not measured by numbers, in my opinion. It's measured by the people that you're surrounded with and your day-to-day, the culture. Are you happy going into work? Yes, I fucking am. You know, for me, that's success from a business perspective, and the fruits of that labor will come later on. And it's different for every business, isn't it? You know, some are billions, some are hundreds, some are whatever. I'm not fucking interested in that. I want to be happy. That's success to me. And creating the best product that we can create, hand on heart that we go, it makes me so happy to see that what we've created come to fruition, come to life. And people review that and give us that quality feedback. That's success to me.
And what about like getting your product in Selfridges? You know, Selfridges is one of the best brands in the world. To get into that shop in London, how did that feel?
It's surreal, really. You know, these are these kind of department stores that you grow up with, that you understand, that are the kind of
creme de la creme.
They're at the pinnacle. You know, your Harrods and Harvey Nicks and Selfridges. It's prestigious, and we've got in there so quick as well. If you look at us as a business in terms of how mature we are as a business,
6 years old from the first idea.
Yeah. So 6 from the first idea. So, you know, and we're mixing it with the big boys. I think we kicked Canada Goose out in Birmingham out of their fucking bit. It was like, fucking step aside.
Do one.
Which is brilliant, you know. But
quality.
For us, the quality, generally, it will speak for itself, you know. And if you've got a big enough kind of backing and in terms of followers and people wearing it and the reviews, and, you know, we've got an amazing...
I saw the other day, 2,500 5-star reviews.
Yeah, well,
that's special.
Yeah. I mean, it's up to sort of, I think, almost 5,000 reviews now.
It's up to 5.
And it's incredible. That's, you know, brilliant. Really, really fucking good. So Selfridges was a special moment, a pinch me moment, where you kind of walk in and we set up our thing. It's completely different. It's unique. It's ThruDark and the store activation, and, you know, we did an activation. So it was in London. Then we did one in Birmingham, and we did this event, and they were like, "Fucking, we've never seen this many people turn up to an event before," because we've got a hardcore following of people that have been with us and believed in us, and we're super thankful of those people as well, because they've been on that journey with us. And this was a Friday bank holiday at night. You know, everybody's normally got plans. People fucking turned up in their droves to support us, which is incredible, mate, really.
What was that last TV show you were on in Australia?
So the SAS show I did. So the recent one is SAS Australia. If we take sort of one step back, a couple of years ago, I went on the SAS UK version, Channel 4.
As a mole at the start,
wasn't it? Terrible mole. Terrible mole. Well, fucking hiding in plain sight, mate. The fuck? We were asked, in fact, the initial phone, so Fox has been on the programme, and everybody that we knew. And so we had the phone call initially to provide clothing for the recruits. So we had this conversation with the costume department, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, long story short, that wasn't going to happen. Not something we were interested in supporting, i.e. giving the recruits clothing, because, you know, we had Foxy and other people wearing the clothing. So, end phone call. And about 10 minutes later, the phone rings again. Same person. All right? Yeah, listen, we've been chatting internally and with the casting directors and staff, and would you ever consider coming on the show? Fucking not a chance. Fucking, man, not interested. Super busy. Fucking, no, don't want to do it. Fucking, leave it. Phone down. And so I had that moment of looking at Louis like this. He's him sort of saying to me, what was that? Well, they just asked if we were interested in going on the show. And I think the penny dropped for us both at the same time. Like,
might be a good idea.
It might be a fucking good idea, you know, from a marketing perspective.
Of course.
Because when you're first starting a business, funds are tight. And you have to be really, really, you're spending it like your own money. Every fucking pound is accounted for. And we were like, what a huge opportunity that could be for the brand. And it was like, we had that moment of, well, you do it then. No, you do it. No, you fucking do it. No, I'm not doing it. Well, you do it. Oh, fuck. And, and at the time Jay was with us, Jay ended up doing it. And then
Jay Morton.
Yeah, so then Jay did it for a year. Then he left the company. He was with us for a bit. Then he left to do his own stuff. So then it's me and Louis. And then fast forward another year, phone rings again. And in fact, I went for the process as well. So me and Jay it was down to me and Jay. They'd also introduced some other people from the same background. It got down to me and Jay, and I sort of remember thinking, I don't really want to do it, but I'll do it. I can see the benefit. And then Jay got the job, and I was like, oh, relief, brilliant. And he was the perfect guy for it, brilliant. Anyway, fast forward a year, he's not on the next one. They call me again. Do you fancy doing it? Like, oh, not this again. Oh, fuck. Well, it worked really well. We saw the benefit and the kickback from that marketing thing from the show and what that brought in terms of website flow, sales, and it was like, oh, okay, right, let's do it. So and they said, look, we loved your interview last time, we loved everything. Just would you do it? Yeah, okay, let's do it. So I went through that process, did it all, went in as a mole, came out, and then I was DS. Had an amazing time with the lads. I'm now back in working with Ant and Foxy and the guys. It's fucking like a big boys reunion. It was brilliant. Loved the show. Didn't like how things ended so much in terms of Ant was leaving the show and it was a bit fractured and bits and pieces.
Why was it fractured?
I think that there was a lot of fucking bureaucracy and a lot of bullshit and a lot of you can't do this, you can't say that, don't do this. And at the end of the day, what we wanted to do was deliver the most authentic Special Forces TV program to the viewers. And then over time that develops and grows, and safety and can't do this, don't say that, and in the end it starts getting diluted and it's fucking turns into the British Bake Off, and you just think, what the fuck are we doing here? And I didn't need to do it. I'd already achieved that aim of getting that audience, fucking, but that's what it was going like. And there's times where you just think, what the fuck is going on here? And we're sort of looking at each other.
Who had the rights to it then? Who owns the rights to that show?
Channel 4.
Channel 4. Okay. And can they sell the rights to other countries?
So that's where we're going. So they do. So they sell the rights to these different countries, and Australia picked it up. So then I went across with Australia and all this kind of stuff, and Fox have got it now as well in the US. But I left that, and I was kind of like, look, I'm happy.
I'm done.
I've done. Achieved my aim. Fucking brilliant. It raised my profile.
Hugely,
allowed. It afforded opportunities for me as well, which complemented the brand brilliantly, and it was win-win. So that was it. And then Australia came up last year. I was actually on my honeymoon at the time with Ruby, and getting the phone call. I remember having the interview in the room with one of the casting directors, and was like, fucking hell, this looks like it might be going ahead. And and very thankfully and kindly put in a nice word for me, and next thing I'm on the show.
Fair play
we filmed that we filmed that out in Jordan in March, and it was fucking brilliant. It was me and Jay and Ollie Ollerton, and it was fucking
perfect. How long for?
About 3 weeks.
3 weeks.
It was incredible. We had such a
What's
good time.
the difference of that one compared to the British one?
It's better.
In what way? Would they have more budget? Did they have what? Were they
so
more?
For me, it's that unshackling of allowing and the team to do what they want to fucking do. That freedom to deliver the most authentic course that we can deliver. And that's what they did. They said, look, fucking go do your thing, and gave him the confidence and reassurance, and us, like working with Ant, and Ant does a fantastic job on that show with producing and directing. And
is he properly involved?
Yeah, he has to be. We have to be. He's the talisman for it. He absolutely is, and we're there to support him, through that. And it was like a fucking breath of fresh air. It is, what do you want to do? How do we do this? What's the most authentic way to do this? Well, this, okay, but got a few things that we need to work around, and whatever, we'll work with you. And it was fucking brilliant, mate. And that comes across through the show. It's fucking authentic and it's brilliant.
And is there going to be a part 2 to that, part 3? How does it work? Don't know.
If depending on viewing figures, it's going really well, apparently. And that will really depend on whether it gets commissioned again. It might be getting commissioned again, who knows? And then hopefully I'll be a part of the team again.
That's quality, mate.
Yeah.
Staz, I've really enjoyed this, mate.
No, thank you, mate. Fucking brilliant. I love having a conversation with you.
Yeah, mate. This is a blinder. Where can people find you, Staz?
So, usual sort of social media platforms, Staz, ThruDark, and then... Yeah, it's social media platforms, Instagram, and I'm not that active on Facebook and TikTok and bits and pieces. The main one is Instagram. So Insta.
Anyone out there, definitely go and follow Staz. So Staz, where can people buy the book from?
Mate, so the book is out now. It's fucking live. Go grab it. It's available on the usual stuff, the Amazons and Waterstones. It's also available on Audible. So obviously this is the hardback version, but the audio is pretty interesting. So the audio had a lot of amazing contributions from people. So after most chapters, not all chapters, there's an interesting guest, and yourself being one, Dodge, and thank you for that contribution.
Pleasure, mate.
After each chapter, I sort of get somebody in that I know and that I like, and we talk about generally the chapter, but also how that integrates. It's like a mini podcast, 20 minutes long, and we've got yourself, we've got Foxy, Nims, Aldo, Mark Ormrod, Aldo K, all these different people and Steve Clark, the investor, to sort of add their flavour and piece to it. So the audio is special as well.
Quality, mate.
Yeah, and I appreciate it. Thank you to everybody who's ordered so far. I really appreciate it.
Staz, you're a proper character, mate. I love this part 2.
Thank you, man.
And I'm sure there'll be a part 3 coming soon.
Yes, mate.
You're a gentleman.
Cheers, brother.
Good man.
Thanks,
Cheers, mate. Good man.